What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of 5 Cool Mods. This is a series where I show you guys just some cool or interesting mods to come out for Skyrim Special Edition each and every week. We actually have a pretty interesting list. There's been like just a ton of different mods coming out lately, and I am very excited to show you guys this one. I actually think we got a very cool armor mod in this week's episode, so I think it's definitely worth the download, but that'll be towards the end of the video. Regardless, as always, I thank you guys for watching. I encourage you to consider subscribing if you enjoy, and also if you don't want to miss a video, I encourage you to click that little bell button down below so you can turn on notifications for my channel. But with all that being said, let's get right into it. So the first mod I do want to show you guys is the Skimpy Armor collection. I don't typically cover these types of mods on my channel, but this is actually one that was ported over to Xbox One. This is one of the few kind of armor skimpy mods you're gonna have on that console, and basically what this one is gonna do is kind of change all the female armors in the game into skimpy variants. It's pretty expansive, covering even some of the lesser known armors that you wouldn't really think, like actual just kind of clothes, are changed to be a little bit skimpier. Again, you have to want to use this type of mod. It may not be my cup of tea, but I understand a lot of other people do enjoy it, as well as it's going to be one of the few options you do have on Xbox One, although I guess it is pretty good to have this because it is such an expansive mod covering all of the armors. Regardless, a lot of the armors are reusing some of the same assets, so the quality is still there, although there's just a lot less armor. So up next, we have a pretty simple mod, but kind of a funny one nonetheless. This is going to be Immersive Poop. Basically, it's going to make it so a lot of the animals in the game are actually now going to poop, and if you wander around them, you will find just basically little poops around. The poop does give you a bunch of different options that you can explore on your own. Basically, you could create poisons with it. You could actually reverse pickpocket and make people die from the poop in their pocket. This does affect all the different animals in the game, so horses, wolves, etc. You'll find poop in the wild, you'll find it at the stables, and all around, it's just kind of an interesting and kind of funny mod to add. So up next, we have the Temple of Time. Basically, it's going to add in the iconic location and the sword into Skyrim. I mean, at the end of the day, it really just is adding in this new sword called the Master Sword. I am showing the trailer in the background because there is actually only a version available for Xbox One. It's on PC as well, but it doesn't work at all. More or less, what this is going to add in is a really beautiful and awesome looking location where you're going to have to walk down and then you'll find this awesome sword known as the Master Sword. Everything is pretty high quality, obviously being from some other lore and video games out there. And honestly, the location itself is really nicely decorated. It's definitely a pretty cool aroma to it, and really makes you getting the sword feel special. So up next, we have auto unequipped shield to back. Basically, this mod's going to make it so when you sheath your sword now, your shield will actually go on your back. This is very cool. I actually really like this effect because before you were basically just running around with your shield on at all times, and frankly, I didn't really like that. I thought it looked kind of silly, and doesn't your arm get like tired? Regardless, this is a pretty cool mod. Unfortunately, it only works with vanilla weapons and armor, so if you download a kind of armor mod that has a custom shield and custom armor, it'll just kind of disappear the shield. It won't turn on your back. Regardless, again, a pretty simple mod, but definitely one I think is a nice download to the game, especially if you are planning on using some of the vanilla options. So up next, we do have the Gryphon Elven Armor. So this is basically going to add in this very cool and interesting looking armor and a weapon and shield to go along with it. Again, I find this armor to be very cool. It is of higher quality for this mod author. A lot of his other armors don't necessarily have the best texture quality, but this one I can't really notice any faults with it. I also feel like it actually just looks very good. It definitely has that kind of elf feel with the helmet there, and just the armor in general has a lot going on. It looks very, like, I want to say royal. It just looks like it's going to be worn by someone that is notable, I guess in this case, a dragonborn. The weapon in my eyes leaves a little bit to be desired, but there's a ton of other weapon mods you could use to augment the armor itself, and the shield is still pretty cool. Regardless, a very cool armor mod, and actually I think one of the better armor mods we've gotten in the past few weeks. So that's going to pretty much wrap it up for this episode of 5 Cool Mods. A little bit shorter. There were some kind of simpler mods, but I think there's some pretty good mods here nonetheless. Some mods that are definitely going to be quality of life improvements, but with all that being said, I thank you guys for watching again, and I hope to see you all next time. Later.